Is this still the worst Walking Dead episode in its entirety? 177 of them. It could be up there, but for us, on rewatching value, it's certainly not.
It could be. It might be. Let's see. Trev back again.
Trevor!
We shout out to Trev's Chan too, the guy that originated all these Walking Dead reviews on YouTube. If it wasn't for the big man, there'd be no Walking Dead. This guy kept the Walking Dead alive even after it went through multiple shit seasons. So yeah, shout out to Trev's Chan. But forget about that boring bastard. We're now here on Fog Entertainment. We're talking about Season 4, Episode 2 of The Walking Dead. This one is called Still, and it got a lot of heavy criticism after it aired. It was a solo episode for Daryl and Beth. I mean, I guess it's not really a solo. I guess you could consider it a co-op episode, considering it was two people and not one. But you get my point. It was an entire episode dedicated to Beth and Daryl, and I just don't think this was necessary. I think it could have maybe shared an episode with a different group, but to give these two a whole episode to themselves, I don't know. I don't think it was needed. I don't think it was... They done nothing in the 10 minutes that they got in episode 10 to justify or make you believe this was worthy of a full episode. And truth be told, it wasn't. It really wasn't. I think it picked up towards the end a little bit. The second half was certainly better than the first half, but it was filler. This was a filler episode. Nothing actually happened. The whole episode was basically trying to get Beth a drink of vodka. And for me, that is, I mean, at this stage, when your loved ones are spread out and you're alone and you want to try and find them, I mean, should that not be the priority here? But we're going to spend time, waste time, potentially get killed trying to get Beth a glass of fucking peach schnapps. I mean, are we for real here? Are we for real? I just don't get it. You've got the last couple of episodes. I mean, you've got the Rick episode and the one with Carol and Michonne where, you know, Rick's recovering. Carol tried to save Rick, tried to get him in a place where he could stay, a place where he could get healthy. You've got Carol and Michonne going out for supplies, trying to get food, trying to bring that food back to Rick. They're trying to stay alive. Then when you've got Glenn and Abraham's too busy trying to get to DC to try and save the world and get Eugene Porter there because this big fat ass thinks he knows what caused the whole breakout. And then you've got Glenn who's hell-bent on getting back to Maggie. You've got people with priorities. You've got people that are actually got goals and destinations and places they're trying to get to and people they need to survive for. But in this episode, it's 44 minutes, honestly, of Beth just wanting to have a drink and Daryl being her chaperone, essentially. That was it. And
Mr. Dixon.
And chaperone did get mentioned, but that's kind of what it felt like.
Not once, but twice. It's mad to think that Beth never sees Maggie again.
Well, based on this episode, it didn't seem like she was too interested in seeing Maggie again.
No, she wasn't, and I wasn't too interested in this episode. You know when Netflix, after a while, but 6 hours says, "Are you still watching this?" This could have played at any part of this episode, man. I would have been, nope, I'm not watching. I mean, it's so much filler. I need to know, was it a budget restraint or like what was actually the need? You know, we've seen in Breaking Bad where they decided to do a full episode with a fly because they blown the budget. But this entire second half of this season feels like that. Like, what's actually happening? Nothing's happening. Like, why is this? Like, if Andrew Lincoln's getting, like, you know, $5 million an episode, can we not? You know, he's not even in every episode, so can we not pass a wee bit of that budget on here?
Maybe that's why he's not in every episode. Maybe they can't afford to pay him $5 million every single episode. But, I mean, I think this was a good opportunity. I think this episode could have had flashbacks utilised. I think we could have had Meryl.
See when Beth talks about her older brother.
Yeah, why not? Can we see
Sean?
something?
Can we not see Sean?
Even bring Herschel. Maybe it's a bit too soon and they don't feel like bringing Herschel back would have that much of an impact because he only died like a few episodes ago. I'm not sure if that's...
If the show can execute it, it can do it well, right? It's never too soon to bring people back.
But instead of having long, drawn-out, boring conversations between Daryl and Beth and them talking about their past lives, I mean, why not actually show it?
Yeah,
why not? Daryl say that he was a nobody. All he did was fought. He was just a deadbeat. He said he was a deadbeat redneck who followed his even bigger deadbeat redneck brother around. Well, couldn't we have seen that?
All he does is bury Merleman.
couldn't we have seen the things that Daryl and Meryl got up to? I don't know. For me, that would have been better.
Methadone in my hour butt.
But the group, after eating a snake, kind of Metal Gear Solid vibes here.
Beth's like crying though, like, oh, Daryl's keeping me safe. Oh, we should be out helping find them.
So the episode starts, we're in this like car, they're in the boot of a car, they stay in the car overnight, they get out the car, they then venture to Beth's like, I've had enough, I want a drink. They're eating this snake, Daryl passes her the water and she says, no, I want a drink, an alcoholic drink, and she says she's going to get one, and they end up travelling to some golf suite.
Country club, golf
whatever.
suite.
I don't know, like it was a place where people played golf, I think.
For old white rich men.
Yeah, old white rich men who probably had alcohol. Now, peach schnapps was the only drink that they had to offer, but I mean, it felt like for the first, I'd probably say at least the first like 8 minutes of this episode, there was no dialogue.
No.
And Daryl's not the most talkative guy, but this just didn't work. So they get to the golf place, they drink. She attempts to drink peach schnapps, but Daryl's like, no, you're not having this. He smashes it and he's like, I'm not going to let your first drink be peach schnapps.
Do you like peach schnapps?
Not really. They then go to where was the place they went to next? It was Daryl. It was like a shed or like a man cave or something. Some sort of man cave.
Something Daryl's dad had.
Daryl breaks in and says, yeah, I knew there'd be some good shit in here. There's moonshine. Start drinking the moonshine. Beth's all happy now. They're going to play a game. If you haven't done it, you drink. And Beth is giving things that she's done, but she knows Daryl hasn't. And then Daryl tries to play along. It gets to the point where Beth is like, I've never been in jail. Daryl just looks at her. And he tells her to drink up. Beth's a little bit surprised. She's like, you've never been in jail? Not even for being drunk? And Daryl's like, no, drink up, bitch. He then goes and takes a piss, and he has a little bit of a meltdown here. He basically cries about how his life hasn't been great, and Beth's had better privileges and more advantages growing up and been able to do better things, been raised better.
What age is Daryl here, by the way? I mean, is he 17 or is he 40 odds?
We get it. I mean, Daryl, you've probably not had a great childhood. I mean, your dad was a bit of a dick, but I don't know why you're taking this out on Beth or whatnot.
I'm going to take a piss.
Yeah, and then he just starts freaking out. Then he grabs Beth and he drags her outside.
No, let's be real though. Is it wrong for Beth to assume that this guy's done jail time? He's previously admitted.
I would say he lied to you. I think he has done jail time.
Yeah,
I can't prove it, but I would be willing to bet Daryl Dixon has done.
I mean, what age is he here? 40. Early 40s.
You tell me he's never spent a night in the cell.
25 years of like being able to be arrested, and he's not.
He's never spent a night in a cell. I just don't believe that for one moment.
Let's just say he hasn't. Why does he take this so fucking bad? Like, I mean, fucking grow up. I mean, there's been bigger problems in this universe. You know, where you've disagreed with Rick on certain things. Like when he killed Shane, you didn't give a fuck. I mean, other things. Here he is. Like, his biggest meltdown in the show is Beth saying he went to jail. Like, I know he cried when Merle died, but it wasn't like a meltdown. He didn't go on a fucking raging rant. Here he goes on a pure rant over, oh, you said I went to jail. What is this, fucking Monopoly?
Yeah, so he goes outside, he starts shooting bolts at a walker and tries to get Beth to do it. Beth asks him to stop. She screams at him to stop, says you're being a jerk. Then she goes and kills the walker, and she says, look, that could have been my dad. That could have been Herschel. Daryl says it was different, and she says it's not different. She says, like, why are you pretending like everyone's gone? And he says, you're never going to see any of those people again. And it's like, I mean, Daryl, you're supposed to be, I mean, you're the adult here, you're the tracker. You're not the one that's supposed to be, you'd expect Beth to be the one giving up and saying we're never going to find these people
Why are we
again.
assuming that everyone's dead? Like, see when they're talking about, oh, I loved Merle, and then she's like, yeah, I miss Maggie too. But there's a good chance Maggie, we know for a fact Merle's dead. But like, we're all pretending, oh, that Rick's dead. You see everybody that was at that prison, they've not seen their bodies, because guess what, they're alive. There's no proof that anyone's dead. See this whole gimmick? These two seem to be the only two, though, that thinks everyone's dead.
Yeah, then basically they make up a little bit and they share stories.
Daryl did blame himself for Herschel's death.
Yeah.
I had the shot, Beth, I've had the shot.
Daryl thinks that he's at fault for everything that happened to the prison. He could have been out looking for the governor. He could have been doing this. He could have been that. I don't think it's Daryl's fault at all.
I mean, I made a fid on it. previously, check the channel. It was about Carl blaming Rick. I mean, what is Rick or Daryl supposed to do? Hunt for the governor until they fucking die?
Yeah,
I mean, they went to Woodbury. It was on fire. There's no one left. They took all the remaining, civilians, so to speak. Well, what else? What else are they supposed to do? Now, maybe Rick doesn't need to become, the greatest farmer and not really care about guns anymore. But what is Daryl supposed to do?
But you could argue that maybe they'd be so hell bent on trying to kill the governor that they leave the group like
weak.
They leave the group vulnerable or whatnot. So I get that. You can't have an obsession where every day for the rest of your life you go out looking for the governor. At one point you kind of have to let it go, and I mean. They could have just left the prison.
Yeah.
I genuinely believe if they'd left the prison, they'd all still be alive.
But that's the thing.
I get you.
Herschel's like the only guy that died.
No, I get you could argue that, they shouldn't have to leave the prison. That is right, but they did have a choice, like. Because I believe if they gave up the prison, I don't think the governor would have killed. I mean, I think he was. Let's be honest. If he wanted to kill Michonne, he'd have killed her.
Yeah. Yeah.
It would have been her head he would have cut off. He could have just killed her when he found her and just took Herschel. I mean, the guy was obviously using her.
There's a reason why he killed Herschel over Michonne. Because he knew it would have a way bigger impact. I mean, obviously his beef is more with Michonne.
I don't know. I don't think Daryl can blame himself. Beth says it's not his fault, which is not, and then they decide to, for some reason, they set fire to the yard or whatever, the barn, whatever it is, and then they spread all the moonshine, they light it up, and they just stand there with this really fucking annoying song in the background, and they're both giving a thumbs up to the fire that they've just set.
Flipping the bird, not giving a thumbs up.
Flipping the bird, sorry. And that's how the episode ends. I mean, definition of a filler episode.
Yeah. Like Daryl can't carry a TV show. And I think if he could, it would have been back here. But even then, he can't carry an episode. And Beth, let's be real, right? This is the first time that we've properly seen Beth even have proper dialogue. Any other time, it's she gets about one line every 4 or 3 episodes.
Yeah, any other time I think we hear Beth talking, it's kind of like she's just in a conversation as a group.
Yeah,
it's not often you actually hear. I mean, I don't think Beth's ever had this sort of. Even the episode that we got with her and Daryl at the beginning in episode 10, I mean, they didn't really do anything. It was just basically them running away and her reading out fucking quotes from Herschel.
More of the same here, but alright, I'm going to give this a 3 out of 10. To this point, it is the worst episode. But
yeah, it's the worst episode to this point, but if we're being fair, The Walking Dead has been pretty good up to this point.
Yeah.
So it would be... Being the worst episode at this point isn't necessarily a horrific fucking
put it this
thing.
way, I don't think that some episodes in this second half will be much better. I think there'll be some pretty much similar to this.
I'll give it a 3 as well. I think a 3 or a 4. I'll give it
But you know what? Rewatching it, I don't think it's as bad as what I thought.
I'll give it a 4.
3.5 out of 10. No bad.
I mean, it wasn't good. I mean, obviously it wasn't great. But it's not, I'll be honest, it's not the worst episode of The Walking Dead ever. There's definitely worse than this.
It's not quite Oceanside, is it?
No, it's definitely not. But yeah.
Well, Heath return.
Heath.
There should never been an episode solely focused on these two.
No, there really shouldn't have been. And you know what? I think 4 seasons in and you start dedicating half an hour to certain groups or full episodes. This is what killed The Walking Dead. I know the ratings went up, but I don't know how.
People didn't like when Woodbury were getting full episodes.
And you've got the governor, Andrea, Merle.
Yeah, so why the hell did they think that giving full episodes to Beth and fucking Daryl was going to be a good idea? Honestly, I don't get that.
Crazy, guys, crazy. Anyway, 3.5 out of 10. We'll be back next week. We're closing in to the season 4 finale, but until then, peace.